strange underwater world of the reef, many creatures develop weapons of war to fight off enemies. But one crab has entered the ocean's arms race with a refined approach. The smooth box crab has a pair of pincers, specialized for the tasks before them. One to rip asunder rind, and another to render a tender find in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I am Joe.
And I am Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
I was a little, you changed your tone there a little bit.
Yeah, you
like
you put some
like
mustard
pleading.
on. Yeah.
Please. All right. And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, please visit us at our home. Now I can't even say it. I'm all off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
Please visit us at our home in the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It's so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on. If you would like to donate, just visit patreon.com/ldtaxonomy or click on donate on our website. I need to just...
That's the yips.
Coffee. I need to coffee.
I know. It's really funny. We record at night. So, this is the worst of us.
I'm a night person.
Okay.
But because of kids, I have to be a morning person. So now I have no peak operating hours anymore.
Yeah.
Like usually 9 to like midnight would be my like get things done, solve world hunger kind of time. But instead, this is when I start to get super tired, and it's bumming me out because I still have to get up at 6:30. So,
well,
anyway.
Today we're talking about a smooth operator, but more on that later.
Hey, that rhymed. Did you
Hey.
mean for that to rhyme? That was the song I listened to when I got an MRI. They were like, "Do you want to listen to some music?" And they didn't even ask me; they just put it on. And I was like, "Oh, Sade." And I don't know why that always sticks into my memory, but anyway, yeah, we're talking about the smooth box crab. Smooth operator.
Nice.
It is also known as the red spotted box crab, the giant box crab, or the shame-faced crab, although that applies to, I think, the entire genus. But you'll see why. We're going to call it here the peekaboo pincer and the shy shell shocker.
Nice. Peekaboo pincher. Pincer.
Pincher works too.
True.
Pincher works too. I already play peekaboo pincher with my daughter.
Pinch her.
Although she pinches me. Let's taxonomize this captain.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom is the one you know, love, and are in, and that is Animalia. The phylum is the one you may know, may love, but are not in, unless you wear your skeleton on the outside, and that is Arthropoda. So if you do wear your skeleton on the outside, I'm sorry if I overlooked you. The subphylum is Crustacea. The class is Malacostraca. We're getting into crab territory, but not exclusively crabs. The order is Decapoda. We are pretty firmly in crab territory there. The suborder is Brachyura. The family is Calapidae. Yeah, 2 P's in the middle there. Calapidae. The genus is Calapa, and the species is Calapa. Calapa.
Parappa the Rappa.
This is fun. And it's going to get even more fun because since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for the listener's favorite part of the show, nitty-gritty nomenclature. The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that is, what is the English translation for the binomial nomenclature, which in this case is kalapa kalapa. So what does that mean? Does that mean A, claw claw, B, coconut coconut, C, rock rock, or D, box box? It's like, these all have to be double, I suppose.
Let's go with rock. Did you say rock rock? Let's do box
Yes,
box.
Claw, coconut, rock, and box are
Box.
the words. Box box?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. That is incorrect. The answer is coconut coconut.
Wow.
Coconut coconut.
Interesting.
I don't blame them for reasons that will become apparent here in a bit. It doesn't look like a box to me. So I don't know where that came from. But let's talk about what it looks like. Let's just go ahead and rip off this Band-Aid. It is rounded, dome-shaped. It is smooth. So it's not a misnomer there. It is definitely smooth. It is like a coconut, kind of like a football. It's oblong, and all of its body parts kind of fit together like a puzzle when it's all together. And it can have red spots, but sometimes it's just like a cream pinkish peach color, or yellow brown, I guess you could say. It has that hard, smooth carapace. It is chunky. It's bigger than a lot of other crabs, but it's not like, the Japanese spider crab, which obviously takes the cake. It has these large claws that are wing-shaped, and it fits directly in front of its face, like a puzzle box almost. Although not a box, like a puzzle football.
It's a transformer.
Yeah, like a transformer toy. Like, how does this? Oh, it all fits together, and now it looks like a Camaro. When before it looked like a robot alien monster. So yes, like I said, it's not like a teeny tiny crab. I feel like most of the crabs we've talked about are just these itty bitty little guys, but it's also not just this gargantuan sea monster. So how big is it, Joe?
It's a great question. Welcome to the Beloved Measure Up segment, the official listeners part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal's size and dimensions through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in an audio result saying and shredding the words of measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We don't have a new measure up intro this week, but we do have an animal. You're gonna have to guess what it is.
Okay.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Just like the boy. I can't stay mad at such a helpless little mammal. I'm gonna get you for that, you little scamp.
Who is he talking to?
Who's he talking to?
Do you know who's talking?
That sounds like Dan Castellaneta. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but obviously he's doing the Homer Simpson voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he's talking to. I don't watch The Simpsons.
Neither have I. But he is talking to Pinchy the lobster. It's funny.
He's not even talking to a crab.
I asked Grok to give me a list of
Pop culture crabs.
crab characters, and one of them was Pinchy the lobster.
Not a character, and also not a crab.
He's a character.
Does he have a personality? What is that character? It's lobster.
So he's a flat character.
As much as the lamp is a character.
It's funny because he called him a mammal. He's like, I can't stay mad at a little mammal like you. He doesn't know what a mammal is.
Oh yes, because he's Homer. He's not very smart.
That's the whole thing about him.
Like, you know, because it's the opposite of the Homer from history. You know, that guy was smart.
But yeah, let's talk about their length. They are 10 to 12 centimeters, or 4 to 5 inches, with variation. You know, crabs vary. They have an overall span of the 10 to 12 inches as their carapace width or length. Their overall span is 20 to 25 centimeters, or 8 to 10 inches. We're going to go with carapace.
Carapace.
We're gonna go with the 4 inches. We're gonna go with 4 inches.
Okay.
How many smooth box crabs fit into, or rather, A, 6,167 go into the height of the Tokyo Sky Tree. B, 148 go into the height of the Leaning Tower of Mustafa Pasha. Or C, 26 go into the length of a corpse flower bloom.
See, I can't even guess these. I'm really just shooting in.
Do you want to know like
taking a
facts
shot in the
about
dark.
each of these things?
Sure.
The Tokyo Sky Tree is a broadcasting tower in Tokyo. It's the tallest structure in Tokyo.
That red and white thing. If you ever look at Tokyo skyline, you're gonna see that red and white radio tower.
I don't know. I don't know what colors it is. It looks gray
Pretty
in
sure
the
it's
sunlight. Yeah, red and white. It can be lit up red and white. The Leaning Tower of Mustafa Pasha is an obscure Ottoman era clock tower in Serbia. And then the corpse flower bloom is a rare plant from Sumatra. It has a bloom that can reach up to a certain length.
The Pasha. Final answer.
The correct answer is
Pasha
B.
Tower.
148 go into the height of the Leaning Tower of Mustafa Pasha.
Yes.
How did you know?
Because the Ottoman Empire is an interesting historical entity.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose that one.
Okay, let's talk about their weight. Smooth box crab weighs about a pound. But it can be up to less than that, maybe 2 pounds. Crabs, there's a lot of variation. How is it A, 165 go into the weight of the Codex Gigas? B, 200 go into the weight of a coelacanth? Or C, 610 go into the weight of a tamara?
I don't know what the third thing is. Is the Codex Gygax? Is that D&D? That's the D&D?
No, Gigas, not Gygax.
Oh, okay. I was imagining like the D&D monster manual or something like that. Do people call that like Codex? I guess.
The Codex Gigas is a very large medieval manuscript of the Bible from the 13th century.
Oh.
It is known as the Devil's Bible because it is one of the first legends of a person selling their soul to the devil to gain some like temporary ability. And in this legend, this giant codex was completed by a monk in a single night after he sold his soul to the devil to be able to do it.
That's very odd motivations on all all parties.
It comes from the
involved.
fact that, like, based on handwriting, it was done by one or a very small group of people, considering its size, but it likely took years.
Yeah. It just seems odd on the motivation, on the part of the motivation of the monk, and also odd on the part of the motivation of the devil to make that happen. It's like neither one of you want to do this.
And then, of course, the coelacanth is a prehistoric fish that was once thought to be extinct, but they found more. And then the tamara is a critically endangered dwarf buffalo from the Philippines.
Coelacanth. Coelacanths? I like them. They're cool. That one.
Final answer?
Yeah. You're not going
That's
to pick B
correct.
twice.
200.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
B twice.
Sometimes you got to pick B twice.
That's what it's
off.
written. It's written above my doorpost. Sometimes you got to pick B twice. It's put on frontlets of my eyelids.
I thought you were gonna pick the Codex Gigas because I love medieval stuff. So
I don't know.
You were gonna think I chose that.
Of all of the things, the coelacanth was the only one I had even the foggiest notion of how big it was.
Yeah, you knew it was that big.
Yeah, I knew they were really big.
I didn't know
Thanks
they were
to-
200 pounds.
Thanks to Futurama.
The Codex
I've learned
Gigas
so
is
much from that show.
160 is almost the same weight as a coelacanth.
That's too heavy.
But that's all I got. Do you have any fast facts before we get into the major fact?
I do. So it lives in the Indo-Pacific area of the ocean, East Africa to Hawaii, Japan to Australia. It hangs out in the intertidal zone, down to as many as 50 meters, and it can burrow into the sand really quickly. It loves to eat mollusks. You could even call it a mollusk murderer. It loves clams and snails, and it also tends to come out and feed at night, and it uses its claws to smash. I don't know if I'm jumping on anything, but to smash its prey and its shells and eat the gooey bits inside, and then burrows into the sand when night is done. They are relatively solitary, so they don't tend to congregate in large numbers like other crabs can sometimes do. And they need to keep an eye out for fish, bigger crabs, and obviously human hunting nets. But it's got good camouflage. It can burrow into the sand. It's kind of tough to find if you're looking for it. And apparently its meat is edible and tasty, but can be toxic if not cooked properly. Kind of like, I think, the Greenland shark. And I'll leave it at that.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm calling this major fact the Toolkit, because the box crab has a remarkable pair of claws that are both highly specialized and critical to its survival. This was going to be a different major fact because I saw a TikTok or Instagram video that was basically saying, like, this is a crab that exhibits a behavior called mate guarding, something like that, where they literally like pick up their mates and carry them all the time.
Not just over the threshold after the wedding.
Yeah. And apparently, there's video of things that look just like box crabs doing this, and pictures. And then I looked it up and could find nothing about this. There's other crabs that are famous for this, but I could not find anything verifying this. And I asked Grok, and Grok said absolutely not. AI never says no.
Grok reached out and slapped you in the face and said, "How dare you even suggest such a thing?"
AI is always trying to like, yeah, I found this example of that. But
Yeah,
no, it was like, no.
this guy on Reddit said that happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's your answer.
But anyway, maybe they do that, maybe they don't. But they definitely have these weird asymmetrical claws. So the right claw is the crusher. It's significantly larger, more robust, equipped with a distinctive curved tooth-like structure known as the crest, or the hook. The claw is built for power, capable of crushing the shells of mollusks like clams and snails. The crest fits snugly against the crab's body when closed, woven into its carapace. The left claw is the precision tool. The left claw is a smaller, more delicate claw designed for finer tasks like brushing their teeth. After the right claw smashes open a shell, the left claw acts like a scoop or a probe, deftly extracting soft meats. Delicious.
Yummy.
It's a division of labor. It's a hemispheric compartmentalization.
I've got one claw to keep my lady safe, and then the other claw to hold her hand.
You're just holding your hand and punching.
And punching, yes.
The right claw's crushing mechanism is so efficient that it's been compared to a can opener in scientific observations. It applies concentric force to fracture shells, while the claw's inner surface is smooth and curved to hold prey securely. The left claw, meanwhile, has a dexterous shape, allowing it to maneuver into tight spaces with broken shells. Beyond feeding, the claws serve as a protective weapon. When threatened, the crab tucks both its claws against its face, covering its eyes, disproving the concept of weapons as a shield. the firearm owners creed that your weapon is a shield.
I've not heard that.
No.
No,
That's why the M&P Shield Plus is called the Shield.
Sure, yeah. I've never heard that. Like I've been knee deep in gun culture for a long time, and I've never heard anybody say like, "This is your shield." I mean, I guess the concept of the best defense is a good offense, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it's also like firearm collecting as like for defense rather than like don't think of the gun as like
an offensive weapon.
Offensive weapon, yeah. It's a defensive weapon. But the left claw, meanwhile, has... Oh, no, I already said that. The right claw's broad, flat surface and the left claw's complementary design fit... I feel like I'm describing an iPhone.
Are you selling a crab to me?
It gives it the box moniker. The fact that it fits seamlessly together, I guess, it's box in terms of it being an enclosed vessel rather than its shape being boxy.
I can think of a lot of things that are enclosed vessels that are not boxes.
Name one. The trunk of a car?
A jug.
The trunk of a car.
A
Crab
fruit.
Stinks as a name. A fruit? It is
the
coconut
fruit crab. It could be called the... Well, we already have a coconut crab.
True.
And that thing like can kill birds. So check out that episode. We've covered the coconut crab. Even though this one's called coconut. So if anything was going to be called the coconut crab, it'd be this one.
But this claw design is tailored to its diet, which is mollusks, hermit crabs, and other crustaceans. You know, stuff where it's hard on the outside and the good stuff's on the inside. The sweet meats, the soft bits. And
the Kinder Egg.
The Kinder Egg.
Actually, it's the opposite.
That's
there's a
soft
toy
on
in
the
there.
outside, toy on the inside.
There's a toy. This is the exact opposite. A Cadbury egg.
candy.
There you go.
Now it's
Cadbury.
like
That's what I
hard
meant.
candies on the inside, which is terrible. Because people
It's
were choking
harder-
on the toys.
It's harder to choke on hard candy, I guess, as long as it's small enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had a Kinder Egg.
I did when I was a kid. I was like, this is the best. Chocolate
Really?
with presents on the inside? This is awesome. I don't even
I've
care
had-
about the chocolate. Give me the toys.
I've had Cadbury eggs. It was like, oh, this is the worst. Chocolate with toothpaste on the inside? Ugh.
Yeah. The observation of the crab in action reveal that the claws work with extreme speed. The crushing motion of the right claw is quick and forceful, while the left claw immediately retrieves food, so they're efficient with it. Rapid coordination.
Smash and grab.
Smash and grab. That's great.
Yeah. It's a felon.
Like any tool use, heavy tool use, the claw shows signs of wear and tear over time. In older crabs, the crushing crest on the right claw becomes chipped or dulled from shell breaking, but it remains functional until the crab dies. And that might be because it didn't remain functional, perhaps.
Is it chicken and the egg thing? Did it die because did it stop being functional because the crab died, or did the crab die because it stopped being functional?
But like a lot of crabs, they have the ability to regenerate limbs during molting, which helps them maintain claw efficacy.
We got to learn how to do that.
Maintain claw efficacy?
Yes. The second part of that, for sure. Not the first part about regenerating limbs, because who wants to do that? Claw efficacy is all I care about.
If we just become neotenic,
What were you going to say?
if we become
Not what?
we'll fix everything if we become neonotenic. It's neotenic.
Oh, man, you could give people heart attacks by doing that.
I think it's just neotenic, yeah. There's no second. The second N comes later. But if we become neotenic, like a what's that salamander, axolotl?
Yeah.
Then we'll be children forever. And you know how children can regrow their limbs? That'll be our fate.
Man, I wish I was a child. Then I could have another arm.
That's like why isn't that why the axolotl can like regrow, because it's got so much pluripotent cell.
It's the pluripotency of its cells. Yeah, its cells go back to the drawing board and can become anything else, including arm cells.
But what if we could like inject ourselves and become child versions of ourselves that could regrow limbs?
What a price to pay! You have to be a child again in order to regrow your limbs.
Yeah, you're more accident prone, but more able to recover from accidents.
Or what if just children could just regrow limbs? Then I wouldn't have to tell like my kids to get down off of anything. It's like, if his arm comes off, we could just grow another one. I can be a more free range parent.
Your kids would also be more hands off.
Literally.
Well, temporarily. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, that's the smooth box crab. For you out there in Podcastia, curl up like skateboard helmet, munch on some clams, and put up your oh man, I messed it up. So curl up like a skateboard helmet, put on some. Now I can't say it at all. Curl up like a skateboard helmet, munch on some clams, and put up your weenie dukes. Like the smooth box crab here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy. When I wrote that was not supposed to be hard to say.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
If you ever look at a neoteny chart, neoteny in children, in humans, it'll put like proportion. What if we're all the same size, children to adulthood? What are the proportions? And it's just funny to think of a man-sized baby.